Let's settle this. When it comes to speaking English in Asia, who's actually the best? Is it Singapore with their lightning-fast fluency? Is it India with its academic English roots? Japan with its quiet dedication? Or is it the Philippines? Today, we're diving into a cultural, linguistic, and even emotional journey, comparing English proficiency across Asia. And trust me, the results might just shock you. Let's be honest, Asia is a massive continent. It stretches from high-tech Korea to ancient Himalayan villages, from bustling Mumbai to sleepy towns in Laos. And English? It doesn't belong to just one country anymore. It's become the unofficial second language of global business, travel, entertainment, and yes, even memes. But here's the real question. Who in Asia actually speaks English the best, and why? Let's break it down. Next up, India, a country with dozens of native languages but where English serves as the bridge between states, politics, business, and sometimes families. India's relationship with English goes back to British colonization, and while that's a dark chapter in history, the language stuck around. English is the primary medium of instruction in many schools and universities, and it's often the default language of formal communication, especially among the elite and tech-savvy. India's style of English is rich in vocabulary and grammar, but it's also deeply formal and sometimes poetic. Phrases like, "with due respect," or "I request you to kindly," that's Indian English, courteous, articulate, and unmistakably precise. So why isn't India ranked higher in speaking English? Because while millions speak it fluently, millions more don't speak it at all. The gap between urban and rural education is real. Then there's Japan. Japan is a country of discipline, precision, and excellence in almost everything it does, except spoken English. Not because they're lazy, far from it. Japan pours billions into English education from grade school to adulthood, but the focus? Grammar rules, test scores, perfect textbook answers. The result? Many Japanese people can read and write English well, they say, but freeze up when it's time to actually speak. It's not a lack of intelligence, it's fear. Fear of making a mistake. Fear of not being, perfect. And in a culture that really prizes perfection and harmony, that fear can be paralyzing. So while Japan excels in many global areas, conversational English remains a challenge. South Korea is similar in some ways, but with its own twist. In Korea, speaking English well is often tied to status. Parents spend thousands on English tutors. Students attend hagwons, those cram schools, that focus solely on English fluency. And the infamous TOEIC test? It can make or break your career. Koreans are improving, no doubt. But like Japan, the focus on exams over real conversations sometimes backfires. Many can read and write well but lack confidence speaking. But wait, what about accent? Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, accent. Who has the clearest, most neutral English accent in Asia? According to global recruiters and BPO companies, the Philippines wins. Why? Because many Filipinos grow up watching American TV shows, YouTube, and English movies without subtitles. They hear the rhythm, intonation, and cultural context from a young age. It's not just about pronunciation. It's about fluency in tone and culture. That's why clients from around the world ask for Filipino agents when they want English that sounds global, not regional. Test scores don't tell the full story. You might be wondering, what do the test scores say? Here's a quick snapshot from recent global English proficiency rankings. Singapore is often in the top 5 globally. The Philippines is usually in the top 20. India lands in the mid-high range, mostly because of the urban-rural divide. Malaysia is surprisingly high, and that's thanks to its colonial legacy. Japan and Korea are still improving, but they're often ranked lower. But here's the catch. Test scores don't reflect heart. They don't show how a hotel worker in Cebu greets you with perfect English and a smile. They don't show the Filipino nurse who comforts a patient abroad, not just with words, but with feeling. They don't measure how English is used, felt, and lived. The heart factor. This is where the Philippines really shines. It's not just the grammar, it's the empathy. The way a Filipino speaks English often comes with emotion, with care, with humor. It's why overseas workers from the Philippines are so loved, not just for their skill, but for their presence. And honestly, that's something a test just can't score. So who speaks the best English in Asia? Let's be real. Best depends on what you're looking for. Want high test scores? Go to Singapore. Want academic elegance? India. Want perfect written grammar? Japan and Korea will get there. But if you want clarity, warmth, and a conversational tone that sounds like home, go to the Philippines. English is no longer just a British or American thing, it's global. And Asia is totally redefining what it means to speak it well. Every country has its strengths, but when it comes to speaking English in a way that connects, with empathy, humor, and clarity, the Philippines is hard to beat. And maybe, just maybe, that's what makes it the real winner.